principles, as I was already mentioning, Article 38 to 51 deals with various directive principles. And these are directives to the state in the governance of the country. How should the state, how should the country govern tomorrow? What are the provisions for the governance of the country? Now, if you look at the directive principles, we can easily broadly classify it into 4 categories. So, various directive principles and the categories, that's what I am going to discuss. So, the heading is just a second, various directives. And when you look at the directives, we can easily classify them into 4 different categories. And the most important category, we can say based on the socialistic principles. So this cannot be implemented. We have already seen you cannot go to the court, and these are not justifiable, but the state should consider these directives while governing the country. That is what is the idea behind the whole thing. So if you look at the various principles, we have 4 different principles. One is the socialistic principles. Then the Gandhian principles. Number 3, the Western liberal principles. And number 4, the ideals of freedom struggle. Okay. The various principles include the socialistic principles, the Gandhian principles, Western liberal principles, and the ideals of the freedom struggle. I mean, the freedom struggle continued for many years, many decades, and these freedom fighters were selfless people. Absolutely no doubt regarding this, because they did not know when will we get freedom or what will happen. And these freedom fighters, most of them were well educated people, and they have given up their career, their good fortunes they have given up. So when they were fighting, they had so many things in mind, so many dreams about India. So some of these directives are based on those dreams which they had about India. What kind of India it should be, what kind of benefits the people should have, all these things were part of their dreams. So we can classify these directive principles into 4 different rough groups. It is nothing hard and fast in this. Please don't take it that way, that once it is said is Gandhian principle, a Gandhian principle can be socialistic principle also. It can be ideals of the freedom struggle also, Western liberal principle also. So, but this is a broad classification. By and large, it can fit in there. No strict rules or regulation regarding this. If you see something in some other book, you should not get upset, because these are all broad classification. Now, among the 4, the most important one is the socialistic principles. So, I will be talking specifically, in this video, I will be specifically talking about the socialistic principles. Okay, coming to the heading as socialistic principles. See, as I mentioned earlier also, the Constitution wants to give us justice, and this justice not only political but also social and economic. The political justice is ensured through our fundamental rights, but when it comes to the social and economic justice, that is coming through the directive principles of state policy. And Nehru was a socialist and a democrat. So that is the Western countries always, the capitalist countries always talked about political freedom, political justice. They never talked about the economic and social justice as such. They always consider that can be secondary, and that is not the responsibility of the state beyond a point, because here market principle should work. That is their concern. But the communist countries, they always talked about this economic justice should be there. They were not worried about the political justice. But here in India, we want both. And these involve a lot of financial commitment also. That is why most of the socialistic principles which we wanted to implement, what Nehru wanted to implement, he had to put in the directive principles rather than in the fundamental rights, because these are, these involve exchequer, these involve expenditure. There is a lot of money involved in it. expenditure involved in it. That is why the socialistic principles are, most of the socialistic principles are in the directive principles of state policy. Now let us see which are those articles which are mentioned in the directive principle which are socialistic in nature. First of all, Article 38. Article 38 says the states to secure a social order for the promotion of welfare of the people. Secure a social order for the welfare of the people. So, a welfare state, welfare of the people. And in this, very clearly, when the state shall strive to promote welfare of the people by securing and protecting as effectively as it may a social order in which justice, social, economic and political shall inform all the institutions of the nation. So, there should be justice, that is social, economic, and so the social order should be such that there should be welfare of the people and the justice. What we are expecting, this justice should be social, economic and political. Social, economic and political justice should be there. See, political justice is already covered in the fundamental rights. So, in the directive principles we are saying that economic and social justice should be ensured. And also the state shall in particular strive to minimize the inequalities of income. Article 38 also talks about minimize the inequalities in income. Minimize the inequalities of income. So, it is asking the state to help in minimizing the inequalities of income of the people and eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities. Eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities. Status, facilities and opportunities. Status, facilities and opportunities. So, minimize inequalities in income and strive to eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities, not only among the individuals, but among the groups of people. So, various groups of people staying anywhere in the country, the state should strive to minimize the inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities as well as minimize the inequalities in income. So, Article 38 is talking about that justice, and very clearly it is saying that state should secure a social order for the promotion of welfare of the people and justice, not only political but also social and economic. That justice we want, and plus minimize the inequalities of income and minimize the inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities. So, this second part, this minimize the inequalities of income as well as minimize the status, facilities and opportunities, this was added into the Constitution through the 44th Amendment Act. 44th Amendment Act 1978. Please remember the second part. The first part just should be justice, social, economic and political, it's already there right from the beginning, but the second part was added, Article 38(2). This is called Article 38(2). It was added through 44th Amendment Act 1978. So, that is about Article 38. Now, coming to Article 39, another socialistic principle, very important, one of the most elaborate among the socialistic principle. So, certain principles of policy to be followed. The state shall in particular, Article 38 they say that the citizens, men and women equally have the right to an adequate means of livelihood. 39 says, 39A says there should be adequate means of livelihood for men and women. Adequate means of livelihood. Adequate means of livelihood for men and women. adequate means of livelihood for men and women. That is Article 39A. 39B, see 39B and C are very important. Okay, we will be seeing it later on also. It says ownership and control of material resources. Ownership and control of material resources should be so distributed as best to subserve the common good. It should be so distributed. Ownership and control of material resources should be so distributed that it subserve the common good. That it subserve the common good. So the ownership and control, Article 39B, the ownership and control of the material resources should be so distributed that it subserve the common good. And Article 39C, see B and C are very important. Okay. C says the operation of the economic system does not result in concentration of wealth. Operation of economic system does not result in concentration of wealth. The operation of economic system does not result in concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. So, operation of the economic system does not result in concentration of wealth, and 39B says ownership and control of the material resources should be so distributed that it subserve the common good. And 39D, it says equal pay for equal work for both men and women. 39D, equal pay for equal work. Equal pay for equal work for both men and women, Article 39D. And E says the health and the strength of the workers, men and women and the tender-age children are not abused. The health of the workers should not be abused. 39E, the health of the workers should not be abused. इसमें very clearly mentioned men, women and even the tender age of children should not be abused. The health of the tender age of the children should not be abused. Article 39E. And F says children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity. Now 39F says the children are given opportunities and facilities, specifically about children. Children are given facilities and opportunities to develop in a healthy manner. To develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity. And conditions of freedom and dignity. See, sometimes these questions are asked, that is why, especially in preliminary. Freedom and dignity, and that childhood and youth are protected against exploitation. It also said, and childhood and youth are protected from exploitation. Against moral and material abandonment. Okay, so many things are mentioned. So it is 39F is specifically about the children. It says to develop, children should develop in a healthy manner and conditions of freedom and dignity, and the childhood and the youth are protected against exploitation and against any moral and material abandonment. Okay, so this F especially, this was added through 42nd Amendment Act. Anyway, it was a 42nd Amendment Act addition. But 39 A, B, C, D, E, F. A says have every citizen have a right to an adequate means of livelihood. Okay. So 39A, it says adequate means of livelihood for men and women. 39B, ownership and control of the material resources should be so distributed that it subserve the common good. 39C, it says operations of the economic system does not result in concentration of wealth in few hands. Then D, equal pay for equal work. E, the health of the workers, men, women, and even the tender age of children should not be abused. And F, now we are talking specifically about children. It says children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity. And that childhood and youth are protected against exploitation and against moral and material abandonment. So, Article 39 A, B, C, D, E, F, all of them are socialistic principles. I mean, this is the idea of equality, that economic justice, social and economic justice idea. Article 39 quite elaborate. Okay, so that is about Article 39. Then Article 39A is there, which is, we will come to that later on, that is equal justice and free legal aid. That will not be, we will be Western liberal principle, we will be saying. 40, organization of village panchayat, again we will be considering it as in a Gandhian principle. But coming to 41, so I will be talking these principles separately so that you will get, you can understand things in a single place. Okay, so I am talking specifically about the socialistic principle, directive principle. Now Article 41. Next article under the socialistic principle I would like to talk is Article 41. There is right to work, to education and to public assistance. Right to work, to education and to public assistance. Okay. So, right to work, to education and to public assistance. Another socialistic principle. The state shall, within the limits of its economic capacity and development. So, the constitution makers already knew that state will be under severe constraint, develop, make effective provision for securing the right to work, right to education and to public assistance in case of unemployment. So, right to work, to education, public assistance in case of unemployment. That is why we have unemployment pensions. Unemployment. In case of unemployment, old age, we have old age pension, because Article 41 is providing for that. Then sickness, disablement, sickness, disablement, and in other cases of undeserved want. Okay. So, meaning those who are having in trouble. So, it is talking specifically about right to work, to education and to public assistance in case of unemployment, old age, sickness, disablement or any other undeserved want. I mean, we have that want, and where if you are in trouble, if those who are in trouble, all those who are in trouble, we should be able to help as far as the right to work, to education and especially. So, the state shall, within the limits of the economic capacity and development, make effective provision for securing the right to work, education and public assistance in case of. So, we are talking about right to work, education and public assistance in case of unemployment, old age, sickness and disablement and any other case, wherever it is required. So, that is Article 41, very important article. Please remember, this right to work, education, public assistance can help in bringing equality in the society. The social equality will come only if there is education, only if there is work. And that is where we will be able to come out of the, shackles of our caste based discrimination in our country. How can we come out of the discrimination? We can come out of discrimination only if there is education and work. So, Article 41 is an important article which can help in reducing the inequalities in the society, especially the social inequalities. Then also Article 42. So 41 is about right to work, education and public assistance for unemployed, old age people, sickness, people are suffering from sickness, disabled people, etc. Then coming to Article 42. Article 42. It talks about provision for just and humane conditions of work and maternity relief. Provisions for just and humane conditions of work. So, and maternity relief. So, maternity relief is clearly mentioned in Article 42 and maternity relief. And so, the state shall provide or shall make provisions for securing just and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief, that is Article 42. Coming to Article 43. It says living wage for workers. The state shall endeavor to secure with suitable legislation or economic organization to all workers, agriculture, industrial or otherwise. So, state shall secure for all workers, agricultural, industrial or otherwise. Agricultural, industrial or otherwise. What do we want? A living wage, conditions of work ensuring a decent standard of life and full enjoyment of leisure. So, three things: living wage, conditions of decent standard of life, living wage, decent standard of life and full enjoyment of leisure. Full enjoyment of leisure and social and cultural opportunities, etc., etc. And also, so it is saying the state shall endeavor for all workers, agricultural, industrial or otherwise, facilities for living, facilities for or otherwise work, and I mean work also. I mean, we are talking about work. I forgot. Otherwise, work, living wage, decent standard of living, full enjoyment of leisure, and it is also talking about the state shall promote the cottage industries. Article 43 talks about state shall promote cottage industries. So, Article 43 is also talking about and on a individual or cooperative basis in rural areas, cottage industries on individual basis or cooperative basis. On individual basis or cooperative basis. So, Article 43 deals with state shall secure all workers, agricultural, industrial or otherwise, work, living wage, decent standard of life, full enjoyment of leisure. Then state also shall promote cottage industries, either individual basis or cooperative basis. So, that is Article 43. Then Article 43A was added. That is the latest to be added, Article 43A, sorry, that is 43B. So, 43A was added through the 42nd Amendment Act. It says participation of workers in the management of industries. Participation of workers in the management of industries. So, workers should be allowed to participate in the management of industries. The state shall take steps by suitable legislation to secure the participation of workers in the management of undertaking, establishment, etc. So that no, the workers are not getting exploited. So this was added, 42nd Amendment Act, and 43A was added. Later on 43B was added. Okay. Again another socialistic principle, Article 43B. This was added through 97th Amendment Act, 2012. This was added. It says promotion of cooperative societies. 43B talks about, because cottage industry either individually or through cooperatives is mentioned in 43. So that is why 43B was added, promotion of cooperatives. Promotion of cooperative societies. Promotion of cooperative societies. It says state shall endeavor to promote voluntary formation. Very important. Voluntary formation. Then autonomous functioning. Autonomous functioning. Then democratic control. Voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of cooperative societies. And professional management, professional management of cooperative societies. So 43B, again another socialistic principle, no doubt regarding this socialistic principle. 43A, another socialistic participation of workers in the management of industries. 43B, promotion of cooperative societies. It says the state shall endeavor to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of cooperative societies. So this is yet another socialistic principle. So these are some of the socialistic principles which are incorporated into our constitution by through the directive principles of state policy. So let me just come back once again. We started from Article 38. Please remember which are the socialistic principles. Now let me put it this way: the socialistic principles. Socialistic principles. Article 38, justice, which very clearly says justice, social, economic and political, a welfare of the people. It should promote the welfare of the people, and very clearly saying justice, social, economic and political. And it also deals with, amendment of the Article 38, Article 38(2) was added, minimize inequalities of income. Okay. Socialistic Article 38 says minimize inequalities. Minimize inequalities. That is Article 38, minimize inequalities, and also minimize the inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities. Article 39 is a big one. 39 A, B, C, D, E. A says every citizen has a right to adequate means of livelihood. B, ownership and control of the material resources should be well distributed so that it subserves the common good. Article 39C, operation of the economic system does not result in concentration of wealth in few hands. Then D, equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Very important. Equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Then E, the health and strength of the workers should not be abused. Then F, children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity, and that childhood of youth are protected against exploitation. So that is 39, big way, socialistic principle. Then Article 41, 39A is there, 40 is there. That is not part of the socialistic principle. Right to work, to education, public assistance, especially for unemployed, old age, people who are sick and disabled. 41, right to work. Right to work, education and public assistance and public assistance. That is 41. Then comes 42, just and humane conditions of work and maternity relief. Just and humane conditions of work and maternity relief. '43, it talks about living wage for workers. To secure living wage, conditions of work and a decent standard of life, full enjoyment of leisure and also promotion of, so 43 living wage and promotion of cottage industry. Please read 43 promotion of cottage industry. Then 43A workers participation of workers, and 43B promotion of cooperatives. So these are the articles. So we can safely say 38, 39, 41, 3, then 42 is 4, 43 is 5, 6, 7 articles. 7 articles which can safely say are, to promote, or rather it is based on the socialistic principles. And the Nehruvian stamp is very clearly visible in these articles. It was very dear to Prime Minister Nehru at that time because of his socialistic bent of mind. He believed in not only political justice, he believed in social and economic justice, and that is why he wanted democracy, adult suffrage. Every citizen of this country should have voting right irrespective of the status and condition. And at the same time, the constitution makers wanted the economic and social justice achieved, and that they wanted to achieve through the directive principles of state policy. So, among the various directive principles, in this particular video, I have talked about the socialistic principle and the directive principles which got incorporated. In the subsequent videos, I will be talking about the other directive principles and the the philosophy behind that. Okay, so that's all for socialistic principles in this particular video.